5M stands for more meetings makes more money. You want to be in meetings. You don't want to be sitting at the desk organizing your pens, sitting there, thinking about your captions. Less time on captions and more time on action. Come on. Member, go ahead and take this information, guys. I want you to partner with me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Zoom. And I want you to truly think about somebody else this morning. I truly believe that what we make happen for others, God will make happen for us. And so think about another leader that you want to see win. Think about a family member. Think about a friend. Think about somebody you want to put in position to succeed. We've got about a little over 60 days left in 2022. I just want to know who's going to make the rest of the year the best of the year. Somebody type of AOTK in the chat. Okay. Among typing AOTK in the chat, guys, go ahead and send this out, right? If you're on Instagram, hit the share button. If you're on, Facebook, hit the share button. If you're on Instagram, go ahead and send it out to 5 people. Send it out to 10 people, right? Spread the word. Let's get this thing jumping, man. Let's get this thing jumping this morning. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. Right. I'll get into that in a second. But the goal of this platform is to teach 2 things: success principles and God principles, right? To, above all else, show people that if you practice God's principles, you can participate in his promises, right? So again, success principles and God principles, right? They're really one and the same. Today, I'm going to give you all some sales information. Today, I'm going to really dive into something. I believe God wants more entrepreneurs. I believe God wants more leaders. I believe he wants some people with some businesses. And so I'm a huge advocate in actually teaching the practicality behind what that looks like. Okay, so today is more of a business call. Today, I'm going to get into business principles, things that you can do to increase your sales immediately. Okay, no matter what you're selling. And so I just want to know, is that going to provide any value to anybody? Anybody want to know how to drive their sales through the roof? Anybody want to know how to drive their sales up? Right? Who want to make some sales, man? Like who wants revenue? I think that just sounds good. Like, I like revenue. I hope you like revenue. I'm going to show you how to up the revenue on the call today. But as I get into it, guys, I'm going to tell you this. This is honestly the kind of information your gurus, they'll go out there and sell to you. This could really be information people put in a course. I'm just here, no strings attached. I'm giving the value for free. The only thing I ask, if you're on YouTube watching the replay, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It helps us in the algorithm. Drop a comment, share it, right? And of course, do the same thing on all of the platforms. But that being said, I'm going to go back and forth between slides, okay, and just talking to y'all. All right. So I'm going to go back and forth between slides and talking to you. So what does that mean? That means if you want the slides, I'll provide them if you ask after, whatever, but just screenshot the slide. Okay, because I'm going to remove the slide off the screen, right? I'm going to remove the slide off the screen once I kind of start getting into everything. So how to become a top producer. Obviously, if you can increase your sales, you're going to increase your production. If you can increase production, eventually, at one point, you will become a top producer. Okay, so you guys can see right here. These are the first couple of tips. I'm going to first start off by giving you 9 tips. Now, I'm going to bounce around and cover a lot in a short amount of time. Okay, so if I'm you, I'm taking notes. Again, the recording will be posted shortly after, but I will kind of I'm ripping and running this morning. I'm giving you value and letting you get on with the rest of your Saturday. So the first thing, guys, is going to be the first thing, before anything is going to be, it takes time to develop new skills. How many of you guys know what it's like to be bad at something? Somebody type yes in the chat. Appreciate you, brother. I see you on here, man. How many guys know what it's like to be bad at something? Does anybody know what that's like? Or am I the only one? I know what it likes to suck, like very bad at sales, at business, at a lot of different things. And I just want to keep it a buck. I already know without asking you guys, you know what that feels like as well. The first time You get started at something, the first time that you do something, you're not going to be the greatest. But I tell people, you don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started in order to ever be great. So a lot of people, they get down on themselves. They don't want to start from the bottom because they don't want to get caught at the bottom. They don't want to start from the beginning because they don't want people to see them in the beginning. They don't want people to see them getting better. I tell people, you can't get better and look cute at the same time. That's the problem. Everybody want to be cute. Everybody want to look fly on IG. Everybody wants to look the best on Instagram, right? Like everything is already put together, like they have all the ducks in a row. I would submit to you that it's okay to actually grow. I would submit to you that it's okay to actually be in your process. Don't compare your chapter 3 to somebody else's chapter 7. If that makes sense, type of AOTK in the chat. If that makes sense. Okay. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, number 2 is going to be accelerate your learning curve by continuing to learn always, right? Always be capturing new information. Like I can't even begin to tell you guys the desire that you must have to learn and acquire new information. You must be outmatched, right? Or you must outmatch everybody in terms of your desire to go out there and learn and grow. You should want to listen to audios. I'm an audio guy. I think books are incredible as well. Doesn't matter how you get your information, but you should always want to learn. That's tip number 2, accelerate your learning curve. Always be capturing new information. Okay. After that, ladies and gentlemen, turn your car into a mobile classroom, ladies and gentlemen. How many guys have ever listened to personal development in the car while you're driving? Yes. Yeah, I can't even begin to tell you, music is incredible. Music is great. I think God created music, for a lot of different reasons, and it can help us and it can get us, in a mode. It can get us feeling good. But more than anything, ladies and gentlemen, you should be listening to information. I've heard mentors even say, yo, until you're at your goal, until you're at a certain income level, until you've taken your sales to a certain level, you shouldn't even really be listening to music in the car. What I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is that the majority of your time listening and consuming content, if you have a goal to accomplish, if you have somewhere that you're trying to go, it should be learning. It should not just be recreation. It shouldn't just be making somebody else more successful, more rich. I mean, it's okay to consume, but I think it's important that we have some more creators, right? You consume content on social media, but do you actually create content? Right? You consume other people's work, other people's art, but when are you going to start creating your own art? When are you going to start actually producing your own product, service? The way that you're going to do that is by learning, accelerating your learning curve, spending more time consuming, and by consuming the right information, you are, in a sense, creating a new person in yourself. Does that make sense? Hey, the only way you're going to grow and change is by consuming new information. And so a lot of people, I think, take that lightly, right? We hear, oh, you should read books, you should listen to audios. You got to take that thing more seriously than anybody else. You have to be militant minded about your growth. It has to be more important than anything, that every single, like personal development is like a bath. You should actually take in more of it every single day. Every single day, you should be listening and growing. It's not something you do on the weekends. It's not something you do in your spare time. It must be a part of you. It must be a part of your routine. Okay. And I don't want to get into how much that's important, but it's not just important because you're learning new information. It's also reinforcing information. It's also affirming where it is that you want to go. Sometimes we can listen to music that's not conducive to our success, that doesn't feed our dreams, that doesn't put us in the right mind frame to go where it is that we want to go. Make sense? Type of AOTK in the chat box. Oh, wait a minute. We got the GOATs on the call, Rachel and Seville Co. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, moving forward from there, okay, the next thing is going to be the 5 M's. And again, I'm going to show you the slide. You guys can screenshot it. Okay, you guys can actually save this, and the recording will be up shortly after. But the 5 M's, ladies and gentlemen, can I get y'all just blowing up the chat box? Type 5 M's, 5 M's. I need you to type the 5 M's. Let me tell you about the 5 M's, ladies and gentlemen. 5M stands for more meetings makes more money. More meetings makes more money. Meetings, ladies and gentlemen, meetings. You want to be in meetings. You don't want to be sitting at the desk organizing your pens. You don't always want to be sitting there, thinking about your captions. Less captions, less time on captions, and more time on action. Come on. Okay, more meetings, ladies and gentlemen. How much time are you spending in front of somebody? I'll tell you the truth. When I was getting started, I spent so much time. I spent so much time thinking about what it is that I was going to do. I didn't get around to doing nothing. How many of y'all been through a whole day and you felt like you did something and you realized you didn't really do much of anything? How many guys have thought you were doing something, but then you went over to the laundry, the washing machine, and you got the washing clothes, and you know what, maybe just let me wipe down the kitchen sink real quick, and okay, let me just, go ahead and think about my prospects while I fold my clothes, and, oh, well, you know what, I've been doing that for a couple hours, now I'm hungry, let me just fix myself a sandwich. And by the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you really haven't done anything. You've thought about your goals, right? You might have listened to some motivational video on YouTube in the background, but what did you actually do though? If you're not in front of somebody who is able to buy your product or service, you have not actually done anything productive. Okay, so becoming more productive as opposed to just being active, ladies and gentlemen, puts you in a position where now you're going to drive your sales upwards. You're going to drive your productivity upwards. That's the problem. Most people are active, but they're not productive. If it makes sense, type of AOTK in the chat. If it makes sense, type of AOTK in the chat. Okay, I believe this is the next one is, I think it's number 5, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be guard your mind against all negative self-talk. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important conversation that you have is the conversation you have with yourself. Okay, the most important conversation that you have is the conversation you're having with yourself. Right? So don't get in your head and start telling yourself, man, I just don't know. I don't know if it's working, man. It just, things aren't going my way. And man, you can't do this. Man, the last time you said you was going to do something big, you didn't end up following through. So what makes you think you're going to do it now, right? It's kind of like that angel and the devil on your shoulder. That negative self-talk, ladies and gentlemen, doubt is the best salesman. It shows up at your door every single day. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to decide to start saying the right things to you, to yourself. Stop telling yourself that you're not good enough. Stop telling yourself that, well, my parents didn't do it. My aunties didn't do it, so I can't do it. Stop telling yourself, oh, well, if I got to be one of 100, or the average person doesn't succeed at this, so I can't succeed at this. That's negative self-talk. Why are you're already calling yourself average? I don't look at myself as average. You shouldn't look at yourself as average, right? I believe that Shakespeare says there is no right or wrong, right? It's only what you believe that makes it so. Okay, so the man that says he can and the man that says he can't, they're both correct. It's all about what it is that you believe, ladies and gentlemen. Less negative self-talk. Moving forward, okay, I'm going to show you guys a slide and then I'm bounce back. Okay, how many guys getting some value? Type of AOTK in the chat. How many of y'all getting some value? Come on. Let's rock, let's rock, let's rock. Next, ladies and gentlemen, how you do anything is how you do everything. So you got to have a champion mentality with whatever it is that you do. You cannot expect to be lazy in one part of your life and super productive in the other part of your life. We are creatures of habit. Humans are creatures of habit. So whatever it is that we do, right, it is usually habitual. Most of our behavior is habitual. So like you want to find a way, ladies and gentlemen, to have a mindset where you're always doing one more. Don't do the bare minimum. And I remember in high school, I didn't really need to do much to get good grades. I would just do the bare minimum to, I'm not gonna say all the stuff I did. Okay, but I did basically just enough, right, to maintain whatever GPA or whatever. That carried over into my business life when I had first got started in business. It carried over into the rest of my life, right, becoming an adult. Okay, I had to change those habits. But what am I trying to tell you? How you do anything is how you do everything. So, like, if you're in the gym, I think I'm a huge advocate. You're going to hear me say it again and again of the gym, of health and wellness and fitness. You know, one thing I'll do is a mental game with myself. If I know I got to do a certain amount of reps, if it's 10 reps, I might just do 11. Why? Because I'm teaching my brain, we don't do the bare minimum. We do more than enough, right? And so that carries over into the rest of your life. Okay. If you're creating content, you should want to create great content, right? If you are, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different examples, ladies and gentlemen. Anything you do, you should want to do it with excellence. Anything you do, it doesn't matter. I could go down a list of different things. Who you are to the people in your life. You should want to be a great brother, sister, parent, whatever, right? But it's all about the mentality of how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So you don't want to cut corners. You don't want to, take the shortcut. Can I tell you what John Maxwell says? He says, the longest distance between 2 points is a shortcut. I'm going to say it again for those of y'all that missed that. I said the longest distance between 2 points is a shortcut. Take no shortcuts. Do exactly what it is that it takes and then some. I like to guarantee my success. If I got to do this, I'm going to do one more. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next thing I'm going to get into, I gave you some tips on how to actually increase your increase your sales, right? But next, I'm going to get into the stages of which you must take a person to actually present information to them, right? To actually basically the pipeline, the funnel of which you need to put a prospect through to drive sales up, to drive revenue up. Number one, okay? Number one is going to be opening up the prospect. Can I tell you that in order to open up a prospect, there is a process to that. You can't present information to somebody unless they're open to hearing the information. Number one, you got to open the prospect. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, you must present to the prospect. You can't actually call yourself being serious about sales and you don't know how to present information. Have to know how to present information. Guys, if you listen to successful people, they're going to tell you over and over and over that they recommend sales. I'm going to tell you, they're going to tell you over and over and over again that they recommend sales. Vincent, what's up, brother? I see you. David, I see you. Okay. Sales is important because everything in your life is actually really sales. Did you know that? Somebody says, no, there's no way. No, everything in your life is sales. You got to sell your partner on why they should want to spend the rest of their life with you. Okay. If you're creating a business and everybody, see, there's no self-made millionaires. There's no self-made billionaires. That's cap. like that's cap, right? You need people behind you. You need organizations. You need support. You need a success team in some way, shape, or form. You have to sell them on your idea. You have to sell them on why you're the man to get the job done, the woman to get the job done. You have to sell them on why investors should invest in you. You have to sell them, ladies and gentlemen, okay, on you. You're always selling yourself. You're at a job interview. You're selling yourself, okay? You need somebody to do you a favor. You need to sell them on why they should do you that favor, okay? Everything is really sales. You want to get along in life and get what you want, you need to know how to sell. Imagine you wanted something really, really bad and you had to distinguish yourself between several different people and you couldn't do it because you didn't know how to sell. I'm not having that problem. So I decided, hey, you know what? Let me go on and learn this. It's okay that I'm bad at it. Let me acknowledge that, but let me get good at it. So sales, ladies and gentlemen, you must then, after you open the prospect to hearing your information, you then need to know how to present the information, and then you need to learn how to close the deal. Somebody type close the deal in the chat. I'm on the call with any closers. Let me know something. Close the deal. Type it in the chat. Who want to close deals, man? You got to know how to close some deals, man. You can't get them in front of the information, get them interested in the information. Then you can't close the deal. You got to know how to close the deal now. You gotta know how to close the deal now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you all that. What time is it? I'll give you about like 10 more minutes. Yes, absolutely. Close the deal. I see you. I see you. Okay. The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, right, is gonna be opening. Opening. Let me tell you about opening. Now, this is the first process of the three. So if you're going to be opening a prospect to hearing some information, well, you have to make sure whoever's giving the information, whether it's you or somebody else, because some of you guys are going to be putting somebody else in front of the information in the beginning, which is cool, right? That's how sales process works. You only have one presenter, right? So maybe you're not presenting, maybe it's somebody else. Doesn't matter. So the presenter must be properly edified. Edifying, ladies and gentlemen, is when essentially you bring credibility to something, right? You uplift something, right? You make something sound as great as it actually is. That's one of the worst mistakes people make, is they don't edify the presenter or the information that they're about to get somebody in front of. How do you expect somebody to be bought into the information that you're showing them and you don't even sound excited about it? You can't even tell them why they should be listening to it. Edify the information, edify the presenter. Next, you must 100% believe they are getting started. They are buying. They are actually enrolling. You need to believe that. If you don't believe that, they're going to know you don't believe that. Right? They're going to know that you don't believe that. You need to believe they're getting started. You should be convicted. Tell people all the time, enthusiasm. The last four letters of enthusiasm are what? Y'all should know this. Some of y'all should know this. What are the last four letters of enthusiasm? Come on. IASM. Okay, stands for I am sold myself. How in the world, if you're not sold yourself, can you sell anybody else? You must be sold. Okay. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, you get one chance to make a first impression. Some of y'all are so focused on, when you meet somebody, you're so focused on what you're going to say back to them and what you're going to pitch to them that you can't even remember their name. You need to train your brain to start remembering people's name. I can give y'all some sauce. Like, y'all want to know the sauce? I could tell y'all some different tricks and things. Listen, I'll just say this. We're going to keep this call short. We might do a deeper dive later. But more than anything, okay, first impressions, social skills, you need to develop those. You need to give somebody a firm handshake. How many guys ever got that flimsy, the dead fish handshake? Somebody just give you a little flimsy handshake, and you're automatically thinking like, that was weird. Give somebody a firm handshake. Look, eye contact. Make eye contact with the person that you're meeting. Remember their name. Say their name back to them. Tell you a little secret. People love hearing their name. Okay. First impressions are everything. You make a bad first impression, I mean, you're automatically trying to make up ground. Okay. Next, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of opening, okay, sit next to your prospect, right? Let's say you brought them to your presentation. This is just an example. You're not always going to actually be physically in a presentation with somebody, but let's say you were. You would want to sit next to that prospect. Okay. People don't care how much you know, ladies and gentlemen, until they know how much you care. I see it all the time, and it's actually really annoying. It's very distasteful, but I get it because I was new once too. People just want to pitch their information, but they don't actually care about the person they pitching it to. Like, you must be more interested than interesting. Don't be that person out here that's just, oh, let me pitch my deal. Let me pitch my business. Pitch. You just sending long block texts. And how many people can I spam today? right? You call somebody up and, you know, you don't know, you just get straight into pitching. Now, there's a time and a place for everything, and there's different scenarios. Every scenario is not the same. I'm not saying you always have to spend an hour with somebody before you actually talk about your business. But what I am saying is people must know that you're genuinely interested in them. They must know you care. If they don't know that, I mean, you're that is very distasteful, and people don't like that. You're gonna end up in the NFL, the No Friends Left Club. Okay. So you have to actually show people that you have a genuine interest. Okay. Um, One thing that you can do to build rapport with people, there's multiple different ways to do it, different acronyms. I'll give you one of them: form, family, occupation, recreation. Okay. And then money/motivation. Family, occupation, recreation, and money/motivation. Okay. So that's just the way that you can begin to connect with someone. Ask them about their family. Ask them what they do for work. Ask them what they do for fun. What do they do in their free time? Ask them, about their motivation. What motivates them, right? Is there a certain amount of, I mean, are they looking to create some more money? I don't know what your product or service is. It just depends, but money, message, motivation, they all work. Okay. Step 7 and 8 of opening, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it here. How many guys getting some value? Type of AOTK in the chat. How many of y'all getting some value? Type of AOTK in the chat. Okay. Remember, your body language says a lot. So you can't lie about your body language. Your body language is going to tell the truth. If you are in a, you're opening up a prospect, right? Part of getting them open is going to be, again, getting them in front of the information. Let's say you were in a presentation physically, which is the case some of the time. For some of you guys, it's going to be a Zoom webinar. Okay, if you're getting somebody on a Zoom webinar to see your information and you're getting them in front of another presenter, maybe you're in the chat box being interactive. You're just showing the person that you're, just as confident in the information as the presenter themselves. If you're not actually the presenter, you want to be active in the presentation. Okay. Now, let me bring you forward, ladies and gentlemen, to actually presenting. Let's say you are the presenter. Let's say you are the presenter. You guys can save it. Okay. But presenting, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first part of influencing, right? Or excuse me, understanding is. When you're presenting, you must actually understand who it is that you're dealing with, that you're talking to. So I want some of you guys to begin to be more interested in people and understanding people. If you don't understand people, how many guys ever actually been presented some information that you could tell the person talking to you didn't understand where you were coming from? It's actually really annoying, isn't it? It's annoying. You feel like they're wasting your time. They just won't shut up. They're talking, but you don't even care what I want. You don't even care what I'm interested in. You don't even take the time to know what my goals are. You're just talking and you're just money hungry. You're just trying to make the sale, right? Anybody ever met somebody with commission breath? All they want to talk about is them, right? So understanding is the first part of influencing. You cannot influence somebody that you do not understand. Identification is everything. Opening them up to something different. Okay, is something that you're doing and presenting. You know that you're presenting some information that people are actually not used to hearing. Okay, so if you're presenting something that somebody's not used to hearing, you have to get them to be open in the presentation. Have them open their mind. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you something this will take your game to an entirely new level. You must understand that 80%, only 20% of decision making is logical. 80% of decision making is emotional. People make emotional decisions. Somebody's going to actually like something. If somebody's going to decide they want to get involved with something, it's going to be mostly emotional, right? Less logical. 20% logical, 20% logical, 80% emotional when it comes to decision making. You must know that when you're actually presenting. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you more sauce. I'll give you more. Okay. Is in terms of presenting, and you guys can see this on my screen. Again, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, you'll catch it on the replay. You got to get your prospect into the yes mode. So essentially, if you're wanting somebody to actually be more inclined to say yes to the most important question, which is, are you ready to get started? You must lead them up to that question with a series of other questions that are easier to say yes to, right? In other words, does this make sense, right? Yes. This is pretty exciting, isn't it? Yes. I mean, if we could get together and make this thing happen, you'd probably be pretty excited, wouldn't you? Yes. Okay. Hold on, Instagram. We'll be right back. Here we go. We back. Okay. You got to get them into yes mode. Ladies and gentlemen, removing all objections during the presentation. Okay. That is super important. Hold on, guys. Oh, Instagram, we might have glitched out. It's all good. Okay. Listen, removing all objections during the presentation is incredibly important. So those of you guys who are presenting somebody some information, you must understand that objections are going to come up after. How many guys have actually experienced an objection before? Yes. Yes or yes? Somebody let me know in the chat. How many guys have actually experienced an objection before? Right? What are some of y'all favorite objections? Let me know in the chat. Not favorite objections, but objections that you get frequently when doing sales. Let me know something. Let me know something. What are they telling y'all, man? Before you sell your thing, whatever your thing is, what are they telling you is the reason why they can't buy? I'm not going to do an objection training today, but I will tell you that they do come up. Where are we at? Where are we at? I don't have the time for nothing else. Okay, absolutely. That's definitely an objection that people will give you. Okay, you must deal with that in the presentation. So if you're presenting something, well, then you need to address the time objection in the presentation. That's an effective presenter. If you know somebody's going to tell you they don't have the money, you need to address that in the presentation. That's an effective presenter. If you know somebody's going to tell you that they have to talk to their spouse, a professional will address that in the presentation. That's how you become an effective presenter, not just running through the information and then afterward deal with all the objections. Deal with them in the presentation. Makes sense? I'm not smart enough. That's another one that people might give you with the product or service. Address it in the presentation. That's how you become an effective presenter. Okay. John Harris, good afternoon, brother. Okay, we're coming to a close here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna give y'all 2 more slides, some more tips, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. Y'all can enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Okay, 2 more slides. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Send y'all off for the rest of your Saturday. Sean T. Adams, what's up, brother? Okay, presenting, ladies and gentlemen, good presentation will educate, inspire, and entertain. So if you're just educational, you're only going to get some people. If you're just inspirational, you're going to miss the people that want to be educated. If you're educational and you're inspirational, you're going to catch a lot of people, but some people really want to be entertained. You got to do a mix, right? That's the best presentation that you can possibly give. In addition to that, make fun of yourself before the prospect does, right? So, I mean, there's several things you can do, but I highly recommend, again, when you do that, it makes you seem more human. It makes you seem more humble. It makes you seem like a regular person. And it also gets rid of the prospect basically making fun of you. It's kind of like, I won't give that example, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay. Promote the next event, promote the next, whatever it is that you're doing. You always want to do that at the end of every single presentation that you do when you're showing someone information. Promote your next event, your next presentation, whatever. Guys, also, people don't care how much you've done as much as they care what you're about to do, where you're going. Many of you are not selling more because you're so caught up in, well, I haven't done enough. I haven't made enough money. I haven't had enough results. I haven't sold enough of this product to actually be able to sell it to more people. Your mindset is backwards. People don't care as much about what you've done. They care more about where you're going next. Because what you did, they can't spend that money anyways. What you've done, right, that has nothing to do with them anyways. What are you about to do? That's what they want to know. Okay. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, the final tips I have for you today are going to be on closing. Okay. I'm going to show you very briefly how to close, and then we're going to get up out of here. Very, very briefly on closing. So confidence is very important when you're closing. You got to have confidence, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not confident, again, people buying the strength, not weakness. People buying the strength, not weakness. Okay. Be ready to actually sign them up, right? Enroll them into your program, right? Close them on your product. Be ready to collect the payment information. Be ready to do that. Expect that. Always expect they're getting started. Be very assumptive. If you're not, I got to ask you, do you really believe in your product or service? If you don't, there's something wrong with your belief, and maybe you shouldn't be selling whatever it is that you're selling. Okay. Their why is their hot button. So you got to understand whatever they told you they want, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Whatever it is that they told you that they want, you need to pay very close attention to that, because that's what they care about. Too many people sell their goals to other people. Don't sell your goals. They don't care about your goals. They care about their goals. Is it retiring their parents? Right? Is it having, I don't know what you're selling. Is it having, a better credit score? Is it having, more time freedom? Is it being able to travel more? Is it being able to be a part of a community of, I don't know what you're selling, but you need to look at why they actually wanted to look at it in the first place and stick to that. Focus on that. Don't get into the extra features and benefits that, oh, and did you hear about this part? And forget all that. Focus on what they told you they wanted, and that's their hot button, right? They told you what it is that's going to be necessary to actually sell them, to close them. Okay. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, ask a closing question and shut up. Ask a closing question and shut up. People talk too much. It's a nervous reaction that we do, something we do in the beginning. We just talk and talk and talk. We talk ourselves right out the deal. Ladies and gentlemen, if you got some value, type of AOTK in the chat box. I hope you did. I thoroughly enjoyed this morning with you all, as I enjoy every single Saturday morning. Again, if you got some value, hit the like button on YouTube. Subscribe to us. We appreciate all the shares, the story posts. Send it to a friend, a family member. Send it to a leader that you want to see succeed. Drop a comment, all the good stuff, man. You guys know what to do. All right, help us grow. And we will see you back here next Saturday. And I tell you guys what, I love each and every single one of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. See you next Saturday.